Now, one thing I will admit about Disney is that Bob Iger and the board have been making all the wrong calls throughout the entire year of 2023. There's no doubt about this. Everything from the marketing of their latest films like The Little Mermaid, Elemental, and Indiana Jones 5. It's really been a rough year, not just for Bob Iger, but also for the fact that a lot of their customers, a lot of their viewers, people that are subscribed on Disney Plus, have really been revolting and really kind of steering away from Disney as a result of all these big releases, all these closings, such as an example for the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, and a lot more on top of this. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into exactly what Bob Iger recently did with his latest emergency plan that's going to, I believe, bring Disney on a collision course. Let's discuss. Now, we know that Bob Iger is somebody that likes to lie to the general public. He always lies through his teeth, and I said this yesterday. My favorite nickname for Bob Iger is Bob Liger, because he always lies. He always really kind of tries to never admit that Disney really is dealing with a lot of conflict right now, and that there are a lot of concerns within the corporate ladder over at Disney. So we know that there's a lot of problems going through everything ranging from what Iger's trying to establish for 2024 to what the board is trying to either agree or disagree with to really knock some sense into Bob Iger. But one thing that the board did agree on that Bob Iger initiated, I believe, is going to be the worst plan of all for 2024. Let's get into all of this. So, with Bob Iger moving forward with his cost containment plan for Disney, things just got more complicated for the company. Both Iger and the board of directors are now moving forward with an emergency plan for Disney. One major development surrounding this has much to do with a plan to remove specific movies and shows from Disney Plus to cut down costs for the streaming platform and the service. It's currently unclear which films and TV shows will be removed from Disney Plus, but a large chunk of content is planned to be removed by 2024 to reduce spending on the maintenance and service for Disney Plus. Further, are upcoming movies and shows that will be filmed in small-scale format. This means less cast members and less crew as well, to limit spending on movies and shows. Another big movement that Iger and the board agreed on is that all projects that are being written after the writer's strike ends, of course, will be aimed to become small-scale projects. This is set to also involve both Star Wars, Marvel, and more, and not just limited to general Disney projects or remakes. Iger is also moving ahead with a strategy to raise rates for Disney Plus to cover losses throughout 2023 on their end from subscriber loss projected for 2024. The rate hike is said to become active sometime within the first quarter of next year for the annual and monthly fee plan options. So guys, let me just pause here quick before we get to the worst stuff. Is that not only is Bob Iger and the board, agreeing on removing content from Disney Plus for next year, but they're also raising rates on top of that. Wouldn't you think that if you're removing content, you would reduce the rates or make the fees more fair to their customers? No. Instead, they're doing the complete opposite. They're taking content away, and they're raising rates. Honestly, it's not really all that surprising. I mean, look at what they have done with the Disney parks, and look at what they have been doing with everything ranging from all their other areas of Disney in the general view of things. Now, we know that Bob Iger is, in my opinion, the worst Disney CEO of all time. I really think that he does a horrible job. He lies all the time, he never tells the truth, and at the very least, Bob Chapek. And even though I did not fully support him either, at least with the parks, he tried to really make the movie releases a little bit more comfortable with the customers, to make them a little bit more, I guess you could say, shifting away from those agendas. And that failed. That really didn't last all that long. Both Bobs, I believe, were bad CEOs, but Bob Iger really takes it to the top. He really does, get that trophy as the worst CEO. So when you look at Bob Iger here, this is going to go and show you that he doesn't know what in the world he's doing. Raising rates and taking away content is not the solution. Moving on. On top of that, which is counter-effective since they are removing content from the platform to begin with, the other decisions they agreed on include to create less merchandise for all shows and movies to be released, since they are beginning to notice that less and less customers are purchasing merchandise related to their latest releases for everything Star Wars, Marvel, and more. Massive cutbacks on that are also going to go active by 2024 during the first quarter, and so far it's not looking good at all for both Iger and the board. This plan is to set, of course, bring Disney on a collision course without a doubt, as they are aware that 24 will be a difficult year regardless for profit and subscribers for Disney+. This was all initiated by Bob Iger, mind you, and the board agreed. Now guys, this goes to show you that it's not just a Bob Iger problem, it's also a board problem. Many members of the board of directors are just clueless. They really are incompetent. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't think through the eyes of their customers or people really providing them the money. It's all about, doing what they want to do to just really further their agenda and to just do what they have to do regardless. Now, we know that Disney and the board really have no clue where this is all going. The shareholders are also a deeper problem. We know that a lot of shareholders are very unhappy. But the top shareholders, you know who I'm talking about, are really the core of the problem. And there's got to be some way to really kind of just nick the root of all these issues happening with Disney. Because let's face it, 2024 is truly going to be the beginning of the end for this company, with Snow White coming out and everything happening with the Marvels for November of 2023, this year of course, is not looking good. It's not looking good for the movie sense of things. This is exactly why they're moving ahead with smaller scale films. They are beginning to realize that these movies are failures. They're not working and they have to make them very small scale focused. And like I explained earlier, what that essentially means is these movies aren't going to be as large scale. It's not going to have a large cast. It's not going to have a higher budget. It's not going to have also a lot of crew working on the film. Very small scale focused, alright? And that's really not a good sign at all. That just goes to show you that Disney is bleeding out. Even if it's going to be a slow bleed out, they are bleeding out. And it's going to be interesting to see what Disney is going to look like by 2026, if there even is going to be a Disney the way that we see them nowadays, right? That shall be interesting too. So, yeah, I mean, like I say, regardless, even though Iger extended his contract until 2026, it means nothing. Bob Iger did the same thing back in 2022 by 3 whole years, and he got fired. So anything can happen between now and then. So yeah, anyway guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.